Hi everyone, welcome to Natural Wonders. Today I'm going to do a wonderful painting of a really nice waterfall which is in the middle of the rainforest. It's going to be a little bit different to what we've done in the past, so I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into this one and painting it. Right, so first things first, I'm just going to paint the outlines of what I'm needing. And we're going to have a lot of rocks here which the actual waterfall comes down. So at the top I'm just going to paint in some little pieces, little bits of stone in there, and it just drops down over this, does the waterfall. So it's important to just put this in. This is black gesso that I'm using now, and behind there we don't care less, we can just paint everything in. But see how I'm making it look like little stones on the top. It's the only thing you need to worry about, and then that'll be fine. Just in there. There we go. That's spot on. So I'll just paint behind that as well. And then this rock actually has a last little part, last little step just there. And then it goes up into trees and stuff up in here. So I'm just going to tap for that. It actually goes up at this angle, so it's going to be dark all the way underneath that. So I can paint that in. I'm just working on these edges at the moment, that's the main thing first. Same for this side, I know that I'm wanting it to be solid and then go up into there somewhere. So now we've worked that out, we need to work this waterline out. So for my waterline, I know that I'm wanting just down here to have a little pool, so I'm going to put the black in above where the water's going to be. That is my waterline, what I'm doing there. That's my waterline. And then there's a little bit of a rock in front of that which comes out to about there. So like I said, I'm just working on both the waterline for up here and the waterline for this rock which comes up in front like so. It's only a rough thing that we're doing at the moment, it's not the finished product, so don't worry about it. Just get that dark colour in there basically. This is a acrylic based primer, black gesso, and it will dry within 10 minutes. I masked up all the way around the painting because I've done it on a canvas frame. Cool. Now, one thing I can do, put that brush down just for a moment. Just using a 1-inch brush now, all in there, plenty of that dark colour. I only really painted that in to give me an idea of it in my mind, because I know it needs to be all dark first, all this. And it also shows you guys what I'm going to be doing, sort of effects and the sort of thing that I wanted to paint. Lock it all in up to the masking tape. And that's all you have to do with these canvas frames. Mask off on the outside all the way around, so there's no paint getting on the canvas frame itself, and then you just paint inside the tape. It's really simple. Take your tape off at the end, and then you've got a framed painting finished. We'll be bringing quite a few of these out for sale soon. There. Right, now I've done that, I'm just going to actually tap into a small amount of paint so that the brush just picks up just enough. And then just up in here I want to start indicating where I'm going to have these trees. So little indications of that going on up in there. It doesn't need to be too dark, and I'm going to actually leave some light showing through as well in this. So I know I want that to come down to about there. Leave some light in there, don't kill it all. It's more dark up in here in this area. It's that light that I wanted to leave in there. Important. There. Just a bit of sunlight going to be showing through the trees, that's all, in that spot. It's mainly blocked in. Then just here and there, you've got the light poking through. So, something about like so. Bit of light, see, showing through. So then same brush, no extra paint on it at all, and I've got a little tree there. The liquid white eventually will go right over this, so this is just an indication of where you want it to be. It's not a determination of where it has to be. You can stick it wherever you want. The liquid white that you put over this will mute it right down, and if you don't, sometimes you don't even need to do nothing, you can just leave it and it'll look just like it's there in the background. Darker under that. Now we're coming over to this side and we've got a couple of little bushes, trees and stuff going on this edge as well. Coming right off the canvas, that is. So again, leave some of the light showing through the sky in between. So you're just up in there. All sorts of little things going on. Little bushes, and there's one a bit further away, so I'm going to tap with less, a bit softer, tap a bit softer over that. Start to run out of colour, and when it starts to run out of colour, I can come up into the tops. It's still the gesso that I'm using. Just tap a bit of something in there because I know there's going to be a tree in there, and that'll tell me straight away without me having to do anything that there's going to be a tree in that spot. Just there. That's great. Right, I'm happy. Again, you can get a bit more of the dark, block it in a bit more if you want. It's dried a bit now. If you've got any canvas showing through, make sure it's proper good and dark, and that'll be great. There we go. So now just let this dry completely, and then we can go over it with oils, with oil paints. I might actually I want this part here to come down a little bit further to about there. That's the one. I think that'll be fine. On to the next stage. Right, so what I've done, I've just got some acrylics out, and I've got yellow ochre, burnt sienna, raw umber and titanium white. To start with, I just want to use straight raw umber and a little tiny bit of burnt sienna to that as well. Maybe just a smidgen of the yellow ochre in with that. But that's the sort of colour that I'm wanting at the moment. So I'm just going to come up in here, and I know where the brighter spots are going to be and where the darker spots are. So I'm just going to let that touch and graze just in there. Because this is black that's on there already, what will happen is it will actually go darker as it dries, as usually happens with acrylics. It happens a lot. So I'm just going to graze over the surface of that. And even underneath the waterfall, there's areas where I want it to just have little rocks behind the waterfall, basically. Just behind where the waterfall is going to be. Same up in there, bigger one. Sometimes towards the top edge as well. You can do that, just put a bit of that colour in. I'll kill all the darks. As I come down, I'm going to lose the darks. See that? Just using the side of the brush here, just the side. Just in there. And you'll start to run out of paint and run out of colour. And that's a good stage, because that's where you get the control. So basically just up in here I want another rock just in there, below that one. Something like that. And then some of these rocks actually just disappear off up into the dark over here. Really just good and dark in that side. So this is basically underpainting what we're doing now. Right. Maybe just up in here, you just touch and indicate a few little highlights on these rocks. The sun's coming down from right to left on this picture, and there's going to be certain rocks showing through underneath where the water is. It's quite dark towards the base, but just up in there you have got indications of stuff, especially up in there. This will pretty much just disappear off once it's dried, sort of right down. Still need a bit of that darker colour, just over in here, a little bit, let it go into almost black in there. I want a bit more light just down in that area, so just down in here I need the lights actually zinging off of there, so I need a bit more colour just down in there, and we'll put the brighter colour on afterwards. This is just the underpainting. Same up in there, a little bit of something in the shadows. Getting some of this lovely browny colour on there first with the acrylics. And it's amazing now when you put your waterfall in and you put it in over the top of this colour, you just have them little rocks just sitting behind there for you perfectly. Back over a couple. A few just disappearing off into the dark. Really scrub it in there, you know. I'm going to put linseed oil over this whole thing once it's dried. There. Just using the darkest of colours now. I'm just letting it go into the shadows a tiny bit. There's just a bit of something in them shadows as well. I hope this is standing out to you because this is the very early stages. Right. Now, just here we're going to have a little rock that's a bit closer to us, and it comes around there. It's not going to be bright, it's going to be still quite dull and dark, and we're just going to put it in first as an indication with the acrylics. I'll go over this in oil paints afterwards, just so that I know that that's there. Blend behind it to the dark. Something like that. I'm just going to use a tiny bit of black in with this colour now, in with the brown and the burnt sienna. In there, even a bit of yellow ochre now and again. But this time I'm going to touch a tiny bit of titanium white to that and allow it to mix with it basically. And that's the sort of tone I was after. And again, just using the side of the brush, I want to indicate all this highlighted area over in here. So very gentle when you're coming over now, because I've only just reloaded. I want it to break. See that? How it's breaking in there over the top. Very gentle. Turn the brush around when you run out of colour. And it just disappears off. That's nice. Maybe a little bit just up in there as well, on that one. This will help the tops of the rocks to really stand out, and you'll see them underneath the waterfall. I'm not using a lot of paint though, just a small amount. I'm letting it almost run out on the brush. that'll just give you a couple of better highlights here and there. Some of them want to stay in the shadows, but then now and again we've just got some little lit up areas on there. Maybe just over in here we've got an area that's quite lit up as well. You can just load quite a bit in there for them. The light against the dark is the main thing to remember about. Always use light against dark. Don't kill all your dark. It's something you do not want to do. Just down in here I can put a bit of something right on the horizon of the water, on the edge of the water first. Just a few little indications. Some rocks and stuff that's going on just in the bottom that you can just see. We're putting liquid white over both these areas shortly. Might have a highlight just up in there, disappearing into that dark area. I want that to stay dark at that side with the light coming from right to left. Great stuff. I love painting like this, absolutely love it. Same up in here, I have a few individuals that have layers. I'm using small amounts of paint, like I say. I'm not using a lot of colour, a very small amount, and I'm using the side of the brush. There. Same again with this colour, same tone, but I'm just going to go over the top of this one slightly, just a little bit, here and there. Still very, very dark. Goes right into dark in there as well. Tiniest amounts at the bottom. And when it's running out of paint, so I've just got some liquid white now on my brush. Liquid white oil paints. And I'm just going to add it to these areas where the white is, basically. Just where the white is. I want liquid white all over that. So you just make sure that you've got an even coat in there. I will actually bring it right over the trees. I want it to be washed out by the time it gets to the trees that we've done there. I just want to gently go over them. And you'll still see them, but they'll disappear to the viewer. All you need to do is do that. You can still see what you're doing. You put your colours in, and then you've got an indication for where you're going to actually put those trees, because this was just a guide for us. Any colour over that, you can just wipe it off, because I want to keep that clean. Put a little bit over here, just in these areas, a little bit over them. You don't want to go too far. I know there's a bright spot in there, so where you're having light coming through the trees, you can just do that. Allow that to come right over. Something like that's good. Don't kill all your dark. Same in there. We know we're going to have some bushes and trees. This is to help to get the sky colour after this. So again, I want to put a bit more down just in there. Right up to the waterline. There we go. Make sure it's a thin, even coat. That's so I've just got some linseed oil on this brush. Small amount of linseed oil. And you can spread it really well, that linseed oil, over this black gesso, which is dried now. All this block colour and everything is all dried. Just want to scrub a little bit of linseed oil up into there, so that it slips and slides over the top. Even in these dark areas you can put some, but I'm not going to go near the white, not yet. Just in the dark areas for now. Right up to your waterline. Right in there. Goes a long way, a little of this goes a very long way. It really does. Scrub it. there until you got enough to be able to really work it all out. A bit of sheen. That'll help us. Oil paint, slip and slide over that. I just touched into a bit of liquid white there accidentally. It's not a problem. Just simply get a towel, go back over that, wipe it off. So I'm going to go over this with oil paints anyway, so it's not that important, but I'm just going to wipe that off and get it to somewhere near what it was. And then I'm back to my brush, which I will wipe out because I touched the white bit there. The main thing is having a bit of that linseed oil in there everywhere. There we go. Right to the top of your rocks. And then I'll come up in here and just touch it in between these areas. I'm just going to get a tiny amount of phthalo blue on the brush, just a small amount. And then just up in here, I'm going to add a smaller layer of blue. I don't want it strong, I don't want it to be a strong colour. So I'm going to mix it on there first with a little bit of colour everywhere, a bit stronger at the top. And then the brush that I've used for the liquid white, I'm just going to use that and I'm going to diffuse it with that. See, I want that colour in there, but I don't want it very strong. It's a very sunny day and it's brighter at this side because the light's coming down from right to left, hitting this. So I'm just using this brush with the liquid white to lighten the blue that I put on there. You get the odd area in there, just blow it off. There we go. Just blend into that up at the top. Once you've blended into the top area, allow it to come through the trees that you've done. And then I'll drag a tiny bit of that colour down, but I want it to be very even and soft. You guys might not even be able to notice it, but hopefully you can. Very small amounts of colour that we're working with. A bit lighter over there I want it, so I'll leave that area really white, especially on the horizon area. Just in there I want it to have some of that blue. There. Something about like that. What we're after. Very simple. Right, now we're going to do the water. Now the colour for the water is actually quite bluey green colour. It's a bluey green colour. So I'm using phthalo green and ultramarine blue together. Phthalo green and ultramarine blue. This waterfall that we're doing, it's come from a glacier or something like that, because the water here is a green colour, so it's got some sort of minerals in it or something like that. So the sunlight's hitting it down here, so I'm going to do the lightest area first. Just in there. Lovely turquoise colour that you get with these beautiful places, and then blend it in so there's a bit of that colour everywhere. Don't worry about this, it's going to go get painted back in again with oils, it's just an indication. There, bring that colour right underneath that, and then that's good for that stage. think it's light enough for what I'm after over here. It does get a lot darker, like I said. I'm going to make it quite a bit darker over this side. So I might just make that colour a bit more intense actually, so that when I make it darker it doesn't lose its colour content. It's going to keep that colour content in there. So I want this colour to still be there. I just want it to be dark because it's in the shade, it's in shadow. So I'll put that in over there, nice and strong. Right under where the water drops. Lighter over this side. Right, again right up to the water's edge. Happy with that? It's a very bright day today and I'm having a bit of trouble with the lighting. So the colours now, you can see them exactly how they are in the water and the sky. It'll look a bit dark around the rock area, but it doesn't matter about that for the moment. I just want you to see the sort of tones that I put in there. So I'm going to mix phthalo blue, a lot of sap green, a little bit of crimson also to that, maybe a little bit of Van Dyke brown, all the good dark colours basically in there. Now, see, I've got a good dark green in there. That's exactly what I'm wanting. Now with that, I'm just going to tap, and when I tap, I actually push and get a ridge of paint, so that when I come up in here now and try and indicate some of these little branches, I'll have that in there. A bit more brown added to that. I want it a tiny bit darker. There, that's good. A few little branches coming up there. A little one that hangs out right there. A little hanging one. Same in there. Leave the light showing in between though on this. A little hanging over from right on the very top edge. Nice. I want to block it in on this back edge completely. Now we've got a couple of little bushes and stuff just here on the edge. So what I can do, I can tweak it slightly by putting a bit of burnt sienna, sorry, a bit of raw sienna into that. It's got a different hue to it. And then with that, I just want to do this tree up in here, just in the darks first. Keep it feathered on the top edge, and then inside there you can really tap it a lot harder. Just on that edge. It's a little bit bigger than I had it. There, that's better. Some lovely little tops to that. I'm using a different colour of green for a different tree. Remember, we're going to come back and highlight these as well. The more solid trees are towards the centre in here. Something about like so. Bring that down. Good and dark at the bottom there. Right, now with that colour again, just want to go up into this tree and put some little highlights for this. Just the dark at the moment for it, while I'm applying.